What is the biggest influence on child development? Well, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all about child development, parenting, family communication, all through the lens of self-government. And in this video, we're going to be talking about that biggest influence. In this video, we're going to talk about that number one big influence on child development. And I think the answer might surprise you. But then what we're going to also do is take it to the next level and talk about how you can improve this one category so that your child has the most success in their development. The number one biggest influence on child development is actually the parent-child bond. For years, I did foster care, treatment foster care for troubled teens. They were all between the ages of 12 and 18. I've also raised 4 children of my own to adulthood. And I know that the impact that the parent-child bond has on the child is vital. So the foster children that came to my home oftentimes had broken bonds with their parents or had unhealthy bonds with their parents. And this was one of the top things I was working with them on. So I did treatment care. And that meant that I needed to help them with some of their processing. Many of the youth that came to my home had ADHD, OCD, ODD, FASD, kleptomania, bipolar, compulsive lying, anger control issues. You get the idea. In fact, they usually had a combination of all of those things. However, I realized that the biggest issue facing almost all of them wasn't really the processing that they had going on or even some of the past abuse. It was that they didn't know how to attach properly to people. And I had to help them with that. Otherwise, I could not help them overcome any of the other difficulties they were facing. That bond or attachment that a child has with their parents actually lays the foundation for all of the rest of the teaching and security, confidence that that child is going to have in the future. So if that bond is somehow damaged, or the parent does not honor their own parental authority and do their job properly, or the child disregards the parent and their authority, then dysfunction is the result. And it's not just dysfunction in the family unit, but also dysfunction within the development of the child. So many people don't realize this. And when I said it might surprise you, it might, because I think some people think, but maybe there's some academic answer that is going to impact children the most, or maybe it's technology, the absence of, or whatever that's going to impact children the most. But truthfully, it's what the parent will allow and the way the parent will conduct themselves around the child. This trains the child socially, and it trains the child also morally. It trains the child academically, whether they want to decide to be open to academic pursuits or not. This bond with the parent helps a child's health, emotional health, physical health, psychological health. This bond with the parent actually truly impacts all aspects of the child, and it will ultimately influence also the relationships that the child chooses to form later in life. How often do we see people that reach adulthood and they end up connecting with a partner or marrying with someone who actually is just like their parent? And maybe we think, oh, I wish they would have picked someone that was a little bit better. Their parent didn't have it figured out, but guess what? That was their example. I also know that with my foster children, even if they'd been abused, severely abused, even if their parents didn't understand their lifestyle or why they'd made certain choices in their life and were giving them a hard time, they still wanted to be with their parents. Abusers. They wanted to be with abusers because it was their people. They had bonded that closely because that's what children do. And they'll never feel the same if that parent is completely removed from their life. The parent and the scar from the parent will be just as vivid and will be something that they end up carrying around with them for a really long time because it's part of who they are. This is why people who are adopted often go looking for their adoptive parent, or their biological parents rather. And my husband did that. He was adopted and he went looking for biological parents. It's because why wouldn't he? that's somehow his blood, his people. He needs to know where he came from. It's just part of the way the human is. I'm going to share 3 things that you can do to improve the connection and bond with your child. But before I do that, click the subscribe button. This channel has so much content dedicated to creating great environments for child development, increasing bonds, and strengthening your family overall. You're not going to want to miss those videos that come out every single day. So click the subscribe button now. First, every family that is super successful at bonding creates a picture in their hearts and in their minds about what type of relationship they're trying to create. So in my parenting course, the Teaching Self-Government Parenting course, I talk about creating a vision, a 20-year vision of the future. And I say, look ahead to the future 20 years from now. At a family party, maybe it's a holiday that you all share in common, something you love as a family, something you will do every year as a family, no matter what. And then look at that time and say, what do I want our relationships to be like right then, 20 years in the future? What will we talk about then? How will we feel about each other then? And the whole family talks about this and creates a picture for the future. And then every year on that holiday, they practice it. They practice being that family. And every Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, or you pick the day, they also practice trying to become that family. The family has to know which direction it's pointed for the relationships to know how to bond with each other. So you've got to lay a framework or a plan for where you're going as a family. Part of pre-planning is also planning ahead of time how you will solve problems as a family. So this means that there's some good proactive teaching that needs to occur. In our home, we taught our children 4 basic skills that they could use in any circumstance to help them problem solve. We also taught them the skills that we would use, the 5 teaching styles that we would use to help them if they happened to make a mistake, needed a correction, how we would talk to them about problems that we saw that needed their attention. So our children have always known this is how mom and dad will handle the situation. They could rely upon our words and the skills, so there didn't need to be anxiety and power struggling. They also knew that we would have checkup times, regular meetings as a family and one-on-one with them, so that we could talk about issues and behaviors that they were working on so that they could consistently improve. They also knew that no issue was too big of an issue to talk about, and no issue would get mom and dad upset. We practiced calmness. That was one of the tones of our home culture that facilitated a strong family bond that would lead to their good development and empowerment. As part of creating a good bond with your children, it's important that you have unique experiences. Your family should have regular activities together. In our family, we picked a certain night of the week that we would always have family activity. It was just decided. Everyone made an effort to be there. We didn't go to sporting matches and stuff like that most of the time because that was our night as a family. We prioritized it. Also, we arranged as parents to have special dates with our children. So have mommy-daughter dates or daddy-daughter dates or mommy-son dates. Have these special moments where you plan to do something just with your child. I've also taken many opportunities to just travel one-on-one with one of my children so that we could have a unique memory. We are the ones that saw that historical site together. It's our memory. It's our time. That bond and the conversations that are had on those trips with all those hours of time together create memories that will stand the test of time. If you have enjoyed this video, I know you're going to love the next video where I talk to a parent about her parenting transition, some of the experiences that she went through to become a more self-governed parent. This video is called How to Stop Being a Passive Parent. Click on that video now and you will learn even more that will help you on the road to impacting your child's development for success.